Today, I'm going to run down the top 10 reasons Adobe Stock is the number one agency out there, and also point out some ways you can use Adobe's advantages to help you sell more photos, illustrations, and videos and make more money. Make sure you stick around till later in the video where I'll summarize all these important tips to help you boost your sales. First, the number one reason why Adobe Stock is the best agency out there is, of course, the earnings. Month in and month out, it's consistently my top earner for image sales, so that's the metric I care about the most, and I bet it's what you care about as well. It was clear back when Adobe Stock launched in 2015 that Adobe was setting out to make the number one agency for all of Microstock, and it didn't take them long to hit that goal. Shutterstock, which had been the top agency for many contributors for about 10-15 years, slipped to number two or lower in the past few years, and that's made way for Adobe Stock to be crowned the new king of earnings. So if you're not uploading to Adobe Stock and prioritizing it in terms of uploading what really sells well today, you're really missing out. Number two is all about growth. Adobe really is the only major agency out there that's growing, both in terms of earnings, like we just covered, but also in terms of total downloads. Adobe seems to be gobbling up the market share from the other agencies like Shutterstock, and of course, all the other little players out there like Dreamstime and 123RF. Adobe is a behemoth, and it's able to use its marketing might to do a great job in advertising, market research, and pulling more customers into its pool. The number three reason that Adobe's on top is its Creative Cloud integration. Adobe's done a masterful job in integrating Adobe Stock into its Creative Cloud software so that Adobe users of Photoshop, InDesign, and its other platforms see many enticements to download images and videos to help out on their projects. It's a huge advantage that Adobe has over the other agencies, and it all but assures that Adobe's going to remain the number one position for the foreseeable future. Number four, Adobe's created some great opportunities for you to make some additional money beyond the normal downloads that you get. One of these is the free collection. Now, we all hate the idea of giving content away for free, but Adobe knows that it has to compete with sites like Pexels.com, which gives out free photos. So Adobe's invited contributors to participate in its own free collection by offering $5 upfront for images to be included for 1 year. Adobe hand selects these images from your portfolio to suggest for nomination, which you have to agree to participate. And it's careful to only choose images that have been downloaded less than 4 times in the past 12 months. You could choose to only allow images that have been downloaded 0 times to reduce the risk that you'll be giving away images that someone might otherwise pay for. I'm participating in it this year, and I'll report back on the earnings I get from these upfront payments. It could end up earning me an extra several $1,000s this year. Now, if you really hate this idea, that's fine. You can choose not to participate. But I really appreciate that Adobe's giving us some extra opportunities to make more money. Number five, and it's another controversial one, AI. Adobe is currently one of the few agencies that's accepting AI-generated images that you can create using tools like Midjourney or DALL-E 2 or Blue Willow. Some hate this idea, but I think it shows Adobe is smart about keeping up with the latest technology and market demands. I've been testing the waters myself with AI and creating some interesting images using Midjourney, and some of these have started to sell really well at Adobe Stock. I'm definitely going to keep creating some more, and I'm glad Adobe has opened up this opportunity for me. The number six reason Adobe Stock's the best agency is its pricing strategy. Now, if you ever go to graphic designer forums, you'll see complaints that Adobe Stock is one of the pricier agencies out there. Of course, it all depends on what plans or packages you're comparing, but it's generally true that Adobe is on the higher end of the price scale compared to some of the smaller agencies. And that's a good thing for contributors like us. Not only does it help keep our earnings higher, but it also means Adobe is not currently using its market share to win a pricing war and drive a race to the bottom across the industry. Anyone unhappy with what they're earning in Microstock right now should really be thankful that Adobe's been holding the line with its much more fair pricing models, because if it decided to undercut everyone else, and it could easily do so, our earnings would be drastically less. Number seven, Adobe has the smartest keywording around. By that, I mean that Adobe gives priority to the top 10 search terms that you place in the beginning of your keyword list. This gives you the power to get a leg up on the competition if you're strategic about how you keyword. So put your buyer hat on and think carefully about what a customer might use when they're typing in a search term to find an image like yours, and you could have the advantage. Number eight, Adobe tells us what customers want and what we should be creating more of. We all want to find new underserved niches, and Adobe Stock has some of the best resources in the industry that provide detailed descriptions on what its customers are searching for and where they need more content to serve them. Now, other sites do this as well, but because of Adobe's Creative Cloud and its considerable market share, its data goes much deeper and gives the best portrait out there of what customers really want today. The number nine reason Adobe Stock is best, it has a great data-rich contributor dashboard. I believe the contributors who make the most money out there are the ones who track their download and sales data carefully to watch for trends, and Adobe's dashboard is probably the best in terms of letting you download and slice and dice your data in many different ways. You can sort and download lists by earnings, by time periods, and more. And analyzing these vital insights will help you determine what you should be creating and uploading next. And finally, the number 10 reason that Adobe Stock is best, Matt Hayward. Matt is Adobe's contributor evangelist, and he's active in forums and events, always willing to answer questions and address concerns that contributors have. Plus, he's a stock contributor himself, so he knows exactly what's on the mind of content creators. And if he doesn't know the answer to a question, he'll go back and talk to his Adobe colleagues and report back. You can often find Matt hanging out in the online forum microstockgroup.com. I've chatted with Matt over email myself, and I can attest to just what a valuable resource he is to contributors, and that other agencies just don't have a resource like him to interact with the contributor. This personal connection is a big plus for Adobe. So that's the top 10, and now here's how you can leverage Adobe Stock's big advantages so you can drive more sales. If you've been invited to participate in Adobe's free collection, you should seriously consider it. I sat it out the first time it was offered, and after reading about others' experiences, I was quick to jump on board when it was offered again this year. I truly believe I'm going to make some serious incremental revenue from it this year, and you should give it a look. If you're sitting out on trying AI, you're really missing the boat. Subscribe to Midjourney for just a month or so and try it out. See if you can generate some interesting images on some high-selling topics, upload them to Adobe Stock, and see how well they do for you. Now, this is an area that's starting to get really competitive, and if you wait a year or two to dive in, it'll be too late. Next, make sure you're taking advantage of Adobe's smart keywording. Make sure your best words are at the top of your lists, and Adobe will prioritize these in searches. With so much competition out there, any little advantage you can have to attract more buyers is critical, and Adobe is giving us a great additional tool here. Read through Adobe's Artist Hub of Research Insights. They say it best themselves when they say, dive into our on-demand library of courses, tutorials, articles, and guides to help inspire you, expand your skills, and raise the bar for your stock creative. You really should consider this a free Microstock school, and if you pass on it, you're handing the edge over to your competition. Really take some time to dive into your Adobe Contributor dashboard. Sort by your most downloaded content or recent activity or time periods. Download the data into a spreadsheet and break it all down to get some valuable insights about what's selling well and what isn't. Adobe's giving us a great tool to make some smart decisions about creating some high commercial value content and drive more sales, and to ignore it is to be flying blind. So, what do you think about Adobe Stock? Did I miss anything in my top 10 list, or are there things you dislike? Please let me know in the comments. You'll find more insights like these in my free newsletter that you can sign up for using the link below. Until next time, best of luck, and I'll see you soon.